and welcome. I'm Melinda Kinlami. Tonight, tears for the dead in Gombe State as 9 youths killed on Easter Sunday are buried as state government also imposes curfew following breakdown of law and order in the state capital. Troops of Operation World Stroke rescues 3 kidnapped victims in Benue State. Governor warns indigents against shielding those perpetrating crime. Federal government confirms commitment in reducing number of out-of-school children in the country, promises more funding for unity schools. Anxiety mounts in Mozambique over the lives of thousands of people as Cyclone Kenneth traps many.
On business news tonight, Nigeria's manufacturing PMI expands for the 25th consecutive time to 57.7 in the month of April.
On sports news tonight, Dominic Thiem hands 11-time champion Rafa Nadal his first ever semi-final loss at the Barcelona Open.
Nine of the boys who died in the tragic Easter Sunday incident were laid to rest today, but not after another violence by some youths. In response, the state government imposed a 15-hour curfew to reduce the massive destruction of property experienced within the metropolis today. Here's that report.
The atmosphere is sorrowful at the mass funeral for the 9 Boys Brigade members who were killed on Easter Monday by a civil defense officer who rammed his car into their procession. As the bodies are laid out within the Christian Association of Nigeria Can Center, tears flowed freely from friends and relatives of the victims. Then a salute from brigade members to the fallen young men in the midst of the crowd. The deputy governor and other government officials are present at the service.
Truly it is a very bad day, starting from what I will also call a very dark Easter of this moment. I stand here on behalf of His Excellency Executive Governor of Gombe State to console with the entire people of Gombe State first, and indeed, and in particular, the Christian community.
No sermons during the funeral service, and then the interment. Hours before now, skirmishes broke out in the metropolis. Now a curfew is imposed for 15 hours.
We decided, therefore, with clearance from His Excellency the Executive Governor, that we should, even as a temporary measure, impose a curfew. I'm hoping and believing that that was going to calm the situation. And that's why when we made the announcement, we informed people that the continuation of the curfew depends on the situation. Even by tomorrow, if we think situations have calmed, we will certainly lift this curfew.
With the curfew in place, the state government is optimistic that this will prevent any further breakdown of law and order.
In the meantime, the president has sent a condolence message to the families and friends of the 9 boys and girls brigade members killed in Gombe State. The president in his message says, quote, "My heart is filled with the pain that the families of the victims were facing as they buried these promising youngsters. The entire nation is with you as you experience this sad, incredible loss. May the Almighty God comfort you at this difficult time." End of quote. The president is also expressing shock on the reports of tension in the state capital and has asked security operatives to ensure that vigilance is maintained. I'm from Gombe in the northeast. Let's move to Benue State in the north central, where the Nigerian Army today rescued 3 kidnapped victims in Bishe community. The Army's strategic efforts yielded fruit using the Operation Wellstroke. The rescued victims have been presented to the state government, and for the governor, Samuel Otom, full mandate has been given to security operatives to deal with any group who tries to shield perpetrators of violence.
Ensure that criminality is eliminated. In the past, all attempts to ensure that we eliminate these criminal elements, the people themselves from those communities resisted it, especially where Ghana Akwaza comes from, in Shitile area. But yesterday, they willingly and surrendered and said, look, government should act. This government will give adequate support to the security agencies to ensure that this is eliminated. We appreciate Operation Wellstroke. We appreciate the Nigerian Army here in Benue, the police, the SS, the civil defense, and my condolences to the families of the civil defense man who was attacked by this gang of criminals and was killed.
Now let's shift our attention to the plight of internally displaced persons in Borno State. The Victim Support Fund is believed to have doled out 130 million naira to enhance facilities at the IDP camp in Maiduguri. The center is a rehabilitation and stabilizing home set up by the Borno State government for children separated from their parents by the Boko Haram insurgency.
This rehabilitation center was a remand home for troubled juveniles before the Boko Haram conflict. And since the war became full-blown, it has left in its wake children separated from their parents, survivors of violence who watched the gruesome killing of their loved ones, as well as those forcefully conscripted into the Boko Haram militia. This category of children and other vulnerable persons now seek shelter in this facility run by the Borno State Ministry of Women Affairs.
Sometimes our inmates sleep outside, but with this development, they can, able to feel comfortable, feel at home.
The Victim Support Fund has a big plan for these children, and it's to create an enabling environment for them and other vulnerable people.
Children who have been separated from their parents, those that have been traumatized by the insurgencies all across the state or all across the region, particularly those coming to Borno, will benefit from these structures that we have created.
A male and female hostel, 2 blocks of classrooms, boreholes and 40 kVA generators are among donations to the Victim Support Fund. The Presidential Committee on the Northeast Initiative believes the facility is not only open for the affected children in Borno State alone, but the Northeast as a whole.
We provided a new generator for the place and rehabilitated boreholes, and the totality of this project came to, in terms of costing, to about 113 million naira that we expended on this project. Everything aimed at creating the enabling environment for the comfort of the people who are going to live here, as well as the fact that it's not just a place of abode, but it's a place of rehabilitation, it's a place of training, it's a place for recovery.
UNICEF, which is a major partner in the rehabilitation program, recently published that at least 3,500 children have been forcefully recruited into the Boko Haram militia.
And staying with security-related matters, the women in the military are living up to their billing as they showcase their skills in combating crime in the country. The women who display their skills in riding motorcycles, combat roles, one-down formation and external life formation say they are playing a strong role in the safety of lives and property. The establishment of the Nigerian Army Women Corps is one of the landmark achievements of the Chief of Army Staff, where female officers are given the opportunity to develop their potential in leadership and command. The Osun State Police Command has launched Operation Puff Adder towards ensuring a permanent solution to all forms of criminal activities in the country, as directed by the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu. At the launch, The Osun State Commissioner of Police, Abiodun Ige, said although there is relative peace in the state, the police will not relent. She asked the members of the public to assist them with intelligent and timely information about suspected actions and hideouts.
Officers and men of the Nigeria Police in Osun, they have an assignment to keep the peace and security in the state. The march in preparation of the launch of this special purpose vehicle, Operation Puff Adder. And while that is going on, guests are seated awaiting the governor of the state for the lunch. When he arrives, he goes on to inspect a guard of honor, after which the event proper begins. The Commissioner of Police tells the gathering while the command is launching Operation Puff Adder and how the residents can help.
The cooperation and collaboration of all stakeholders, corporate bodies and governments at all levels in bringing a permanent end to incidences of armed banditry, kidnapping and other crimes is hereby enlisted.
Other security agencies at the inauguration pledged their support to ensure that the strategy works.
Our service will continue to partner effectively with the duties, responsibilities and demands of the police force. On our own part, we continue to supply and feed intelligence.
Governor Boyega Oyetola appealed to the people of the state to cooperate with the police and promised ready assistance to the force.
I appeal again to the policemen deployed in the operation to observe the universal rule of engagement in the discharge of this assignment. I'd like to pledge the support and cooperation of the state of government to the successful implementation of Operation Puff Adder and other security operations.
Operation Puff Adder was launched earlier this year by the Inspector General of Police to concentrate efforts to end crime across the country.
Away from security matters, reactions are beginning to trail those seeking a monthly lifetime pension for all past and present legislators in the Bayelsa State House of Assembly. Some Bayelsa residents are condemning the bill, which has already been approved by the lawmakers. Our correspondent, Dobra Timi Wood, has this report.
The unemployment rate in Bayelsa State is 32.6%, one of the highest in the South-South region of the country. This is a 2.6% increase from the 30% in the third quarter of 2018. In the face of those statistics, the current discourse amongst the people of Bayelsa State is not focused on how this unemployment rate can be reduced, but on the approval of a life pension for all present and past members of the legislature by the Bayelsa State House of Assembly.
Is the pensions for governors, deputy governors, and members of the state house.
This bill, sponsored by Honorable Peter Akpe, the leader of the Bayelsa State House of Assembly, is presently receiving a lot of backlash from most Bayelsans.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the importance of pensions to public officers cannot really go by themselves.
Fulfilling the civil service policy of paying gratuity to civil servants after 35 years of service has been challenging for the Bayelsa state government.
For a law to be said to be a good law, the law must first of all not be ambiguous. How can you have someone spend years in the House of Assembly, then you now say the person should be paid pension for life? What is the age for pension? What is the age for pension? What are the number of years someone has to serve first before the person will be granted pension?
The list each member is entitled to is it's over 100 million naira within a space of 4 years. And therefore, if such a person is still, being empowered by a law, as it is now, all of us Bayelsans also deserve to have a living wage.
In June 2018, the Bayelsa State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Mr. Daniel Iworiso Maxim, at a state government's public service reform town hall meeting, disclosed that the unpaid gratuities for pensioners from the state civil service stands at 20 billion naira.
Knowing that backlog of gratuity, pensions, and other matters have never been dealt with for the past years, we strongly condemn how the bill was passed.
We are seeing anti-people bill because they have seen that this money that they say is not available is available. The 13% is available for them to do anyhow. And that is why greed and moral bankruptcy has led them to this very shameful and embarrassing level of passing this bill.
Even though most Bayelsans have expressed their displeasure at the bill, the Attorney General of the state says the bill is well-intentioned.
Especially given this fact that what is proposed as monthly entitlement to members of the Assembly is actually very reasonable. 100,000 naira and 200,000 naira to principal member. I think it's very reasonable.
Bayelsas are keenly observing to see if Governor Seriake Dixon will give his assent to the bill or bow to public pressure and reject an executive bill. Dobra Timiwood, Channels Television News.
In part two, after the break, it's a season of rains again, and the coastal states say they're scared of flooding. Join us again for the details.